that is going to happen in the next few minutes. So I am Dr. Charu Sharma. I'm the Country Director, India of Star Scholars Network, and I'm representing Star Scholars Network. And I'm extremely grateful to everyone who has been instrumental for having us all here together this morning. Especially, I would like to thank Dr. Uttam Gauli, who's the president of Star Scholars Network, who's given us this platform where we can come up with the creative, interesting ideas in areas which really need our time and devotion and dedication for having a meaningful impact. I'm also thankful to Dr. Sham, who has been there right from the beginning when we were, having deliberations on the workshop. So he created this wonderful flyer, and he introduced me to Nasreen and Pratyusha. So thank you, Dr. Sham. I hope he was able to join us here this morning. So as you can see, the workshop is titled From Idea to Impact, Crafting Research Projects for Social Justice. It's such a profound, powerful statement here. And when we open it up, I'd like to just make a little introduction about what it is. It's, as you all know, it's an outcome-based 3-hour workshop. So the facilitators who are here with us are Nasreen Parveen and Dr. Pratyusha Bhaumik. So I'll be quickly introducing them, and then they'll take over for the rest of the 3 hours. So Nasreen Parveen is a senior lecturer at North South University, Bangladesh. Welcome, Nasreen. With a research focus on higher education and a passion for community development, she advocates for equity and social justice, striving to create inclusive educational opportunities that empower individuals from all backgrounds. She's also an associate editor of the International Journal of Multidisciplinary Perspectives in Higher Education. As a STAR certified scholar, she recently facilitated the professional development program organized by Star Scholars Network. Welcome, Nasreen.
Thank you.
And Dr. Pratyusha Bhaumik. She is an assistant professor in the Department of English, Bodoland University, Assam, India. Her current teaching offers courses on English literature in context, contemporary South Asian fictions, and research methodology. Her research interests include South Asian literatures, partition studies, trauma studies, women's studies, etc. And she's currently an associate editor of the International Journal of Multidisciplinary Perspectives in Higher Education. And she has published several research articles in journals and presented papers in many conferences at international and national levels. And she's also a STAR certified scholar. And she facilitated the STAR Network's professional development program in 2023. So welcome, Pratyusha. Thank you for coming. So the floor is all yours.
Okay, thank you very much. Thank you, Charu. So let's begin. Greetings, colleagues. On behalf of Star Scholars Network and the Star Scholar Training Program, we welcome you to the workshop titled From Idea to Impact, Crafting Research Project for Social Justice. We will first highlight the goals and premises of this workshop to help you think strategically and purposefully about how to develop a research agenda with a social mission and with a clearer sense of how to advance justice in society. Then you will spend most of the time doing activities which will offer you the scope to produce high quality research and disseminate knowledge that drives positive change. Okay. There will be a series of activities that will aim at enhancing your research and publication skills. The first activity is the warm-up activity. Taking notes on your research is an essential step in clarifying your ideas and refining your objectives, and identifying potential areas for further investigation. By organizing your thoughts on paper, you lay the groundwork for a well structured and coherent research project. The second activity is outlining your research project with social justice. In this activity, you are actually going to explore how to outline a research project with a social justice perspective for a journal article. By incorporating social justice into your work, you can magnify the impact of your research and contribute to positive change in society. The third activity is outlining your introduction. It is a section that captures the reader's attention and sets the tone for the entire piece. In this activity, you will learn how to craft a captivating introduction that not only provides context, but also establishes the significance of your work. The final activity is responding to editors' revision requests. As scholars and authors, your work is subject to review and revision. In this activity, you will focus on the vital communication skills required when responding to an editor's revision request. Constructive feedback is an invaluable opportunity for growth, and how you handle it shapes the final outcome of your publication.
We all publish research scholarship that contributes intellectually to our respective disciplines. But we often forget that there is or should be a social impact aspect of our scholarship and publication, if not a social justice aspect as well. Let us foreground the element of social impact or contribution and, if applicable, social justice. Take a current or planned publication project and take notes using these questions. How could you disseminate and apply the knowledge of this publication most broadly? How could you make a greater social impact through this publication? What social justice could you advance through this publication? Now, please answer the above questions in notes or a paragraph or two. You have 10 minutes to do this activity. As you can see, the table provides a concise overview of the research agenda, its focus areas, and the strategies for disseminating the knowledge to create a greater social impact. The research agenda aims to address social justice issues related to equitable education and its potential to bring positive change to marginalized communities. You can look at the sample and work on your research agenda.
So you have 10 minutes for this activity. And if you'd like to look at the questions, so these are the questions you really need to respond.
Another 2 minutes, right, Nasreen ma'am?
It's no problem.
Yeah.
Nisha, is it time now?
Yes, yes, it's time.
So
We
10
can move on to that. Yeah,
minutes.
we can move on to the next slide. Yeah. Now look at the project outline sample and design your own research project. You will have 25 minutes for this activity. After that, you will exchange your projects and discuss it in groups in the breakout rooms we'll be sending you to. You will be getting 15 minutes to share your ideas with groups. Later, a few colleagues will share their key ideas, 1 minute each, in the main room.
Now, look at these details and make notes, for example, before you go to the breakout room or before we send you to the breakout room. Look at this, identifying a problem which you think that worth investigating in your field. Formulate a research hypothesis, or you can write up a research question your project will answer. You can list methods and tools you need for the research, or you can name the theoretical framework you might be using for your research. What will you propose or recommend if what your hypothesis is valid? Or what arguments are you advancing from your analysis? What knowledge will this project contribute to your field or society? Now we'll be sending you to the breakout rooms. You will be getting, as Pritosha said, 15 minutes, and later you'll be back here and we'll discuss this. So let me send you to the breakout rooms. Breakout rooms. So just join. Are you able to join to the breakout room, colleagues?
There
Miss,
will be
I
an
couldn't
option for
join any
joining the,
breakout
yeah,
room.
Can you see?
Uh, Miss, I can just see the screen, but I didn't get any option to join the breakout room yet.
Okay. I don't know what. Yadu, can you help to do that? Okay. Assigned to. Okay. Room 1. I'm assigned to. Okay, I'm doing it manually.
I can see 2 participants, yeah,
I
joined. Yeah, Dr. Manish Gupta, please join the breakout room. Nasrin ma'am, 1 participant has joined the main room. I think she can be sent to the breakout room.
think I did for 2 times. Maybe he
Oh,
doesn't. That's fine.
okay, okay.
He wants to be
Okay.
in the. That's fine.
Mm.
So time check. Can you? Uh, time.
Mm.
It's just few minutes. I think they will be
Yeah,
getting.
it's just few minutes.
Yeah. So yeah. Okay. So just
5 মিনিট তো হয়েছে তাই না?
I think
5-7
so.
মিনিট তো হয়েছে।
10 minutes, let's, yeah.
হ্যাঁ,
10
yeah.
minutes.
And
Okay.
10:30 we have to finish on time also.
Hmm.
Mm.
I think 5 minutes gone, and now we can give 10 more minutes, right, Pratyusha?
Okay.
And then when
The last activity we finished on 10:30.
okay.
Mm. আচ্ছা। ব্রেক টাইমটা একটু নেওয়া যায় ম্যাম, ব্রেক টাইমটা একটু কম করে, কারণ কি
Ajum,
ব্রেক টাইমে, হ্যাঁ ব্রেক টাইমে পাঠালে আবার কি হয় বলতো, সাম পিপল দে ডোন্ট কাম ব্যাক, সো
so we can, okay, let's see. Okay.
we can, yeah, maybe for some time we can.
Pratyusha, are you saying something?
No.
Okay. স্ক্রিনটা আমি একটু বন্ধ করে রেখেছি, I'm gonna come back.
Okay.
একটু পরে করে দিচ্ছি।
Mm. Shyam used to give some messages to the breakout rooms. Can you give like another 2 minutes or another 1 minute?
Let me see.
Mm. I don't see Shyam though.
Hmm.
Mm.
Two minutes left, right?
Hmm. Yeah.
No, 2 minutes. 2 minutes left.
Hmm.
We can give break for 5 minutes, okay? Five
Okay, okay.
minutes.
একটু মেনশন করে দিন।
হুম, হুম, হুম।
হুম।
হুম,
1 minute.
হুম, হুম।
হুম।
Someone was asking about social justice. Did you see the chat proposal?
No.
একটু চেক করো, ওখানে অনেক কোয়েশ্চেন থাকে। আমি তো কথা বলতেছি তখন I was so she was asking যে
Hmm.
we'll be designing something related to medicine and everything. So she was asking how this could be a social justice. And then I said, when you disseminate knowledge and advocate for a change. She was not still like, I think she was still confused. আচ্ছা 2 minutes হয়ে গেছে, right?
হ্যাঁ হয়ে গেছে ম্যাম, হয়ে গেছে।
Close করে ফেলি?
হ্যাঁ ক্লোজ করুন।
I think everyone is back. Okay, it seems like, yeah. So let's have a little bit of discussion what you have discussed in the breakout room. So I'd like to ask a few colleagues to share their reflections. Who'd like to go first? Guys, volunteer.
I can maybe start, but I cannot say that we have gone very far. We in my group with Muskan and Jaya, we basically just introduced our research projects, and my research project was focusing on what attracts international students to Indonesia, and then Muskan was looking at the holistic approaches used by psychologists to provide well-being to their students and I guess other customers. And then Jaya was focusing on understanding how to provide the best well-being support to teachers. Trying to remind us that we need to focus on the teachers as well, not only on the students. Yeah. So I think we just managed to introduce our topics. What I noticed is that we're all doing surveys, which I don't know whether that's the best way to go, especially if we're doing some kind of exploration studies. Muskan, Jaya, please feel free to add on our discussion.
Yes. Muskan, would you like to add something? No?
Yes, so what ma'am said was exactly what we discussed there. I would be conducting a survey method among the psychologists too, to see what holistic approaches have bring out of their patients, and if it is actually effective, and what advantages it's bringing to their patients.
Okay, great. That's quite interesting topic, I think.
Yeah.
Anyone wants to go and talk a little bit about their research issue? Any framework they would like to use? How about Anjali, Supriya? Okay, science. Yeah, you raised your hand. Yes, go ahead.
Hello, ma'am. Assalamu alaikum. And hello, Pratusha, ma'am. Namaste. So, I'm sorry, I might sound a bit weird because I have this severe fever and severe body ache, maybe a symptom of dengue. So, yeah.
So
So
sorry to hear. You really need to take rest, but thank you for joining.
sure, Miss, I will. Thank you. So, the research problem in my field is according to my hypothesis, I think that the free education, free primary level education, doesn't meet the bare minimum quality, which is like in Bangladesh. I'm sorry, I'm getting a bit disordered. So. Um, in Bangladesh, in Bangladesh, primary education is free and compulsory for all. But most of the time, the scenario is that free education doesn't meet a bare minimum level that a primary level education should have. And for most of the families who live under the poverty line, for them, this primary level free education is the only is kind of the only level of education they can reach through, and they can't afford more than that, and also sometimes it happens that they can't invest this much time to attend for the free education as well, because they have some other work to do and they need to maintain their livelihood, which should be their first priority and all. So in that case, I my for my research, I want to throughout my research, I want to explore these challenges of teaching English writing skills in primary level education of Bangladesh. And by identifying those challenges, I want to find out where uh, like a certain level by or a certain method by which these bare minimum like bare minimum level of quality would be maintained of these free education and compulsory education, so that we can count on those primary level students, at least we can get ensured that these primary level education is enough for those students who live under poverty line and can't afford much more education than primary level. So it would be enough for them to survive, at least just for general communication or basic communication. At least even if they could write their name and other introduction properly, that would also be fine maybe. But this scenario is quite uh, uh, not up to the mark in our country right now. So as per my research methodology and tools, I would like to go for a mixed method research, which would be qualitative and quantitative both. And for the quantitative part and the for the quantitative part,
Uh,
I want to take interview
I
of
think we lost you, Saima.
hello, Miss, can you hear me?
Okay, I think that's fine. What she was talking about more, I think what I understood, addressing equity and more justice in the society, specifically for the disadvantaged community who cannot afford a good education, specifically in the primary education field in Bangladesh. That's what actually she was talking about, thinking about the challenges and also coming up with some policy changes and methodological changes, and maybe uh, uh, and to develop some kind of framework for equity and justice for this disadvantaged community. Is there anyone who would like to share any other idea about your project? Okay, so if not, then what we're going to do, that is we're going to have a 5-minute break, not 10 minutes. Initially, we planned for 10 minutes break, but let's have a 5-minute break, and then we'll be resuming from there. Okay. Shukriya, are you here? You were asking a question about how designing a medicine for research can be a social justice. If you're here- Okay. So if you're here, let me just explain a little bit. Maybe I was not able to make it clear in the chat because I was talking and I was not able to actually write. So when you design a medicine for a research project with a focus on social justice, it will be involving considering equitable access, like whether when you design that, you have to think about equity, who can afford and who can't, addressing health disparities, and also to ensure the benefits of the medicine reaching to the marginalized and disadvantaged community, undeserved community. And so you can also think about how it can involve collaborating with diverse stakeholders and conducting trials that represents various demographics, like different backgrounds, different geographical background, age, to ensure fair representation. So when you think from that perspective, I think that address and advance social justice for your community.
Yeah, and the issue of medicine itself is a social justice thing because it's about concerning health. So I think, it can be approached through various ways, like, because health is, of course, everybody is concerned about health. So as Nasrin ma'am mentioned, I think, yeah, this can be the ways how you approach this issue.
Yeah.
Nami,
I think
yeah.
the cue is things that I never thought like was the issue that yes.
Yeah, your voice is breaking.
Art, yes.
Oh, okay.
Maybe you can write chat box.
Okay.
2 minutes left, I think, Pratyusha. Then we can.
Mm.
I think it's time. So
Yeah.
yeah, Pratyusha.
Yes. Based on the sample of abstract, you can take 7 minutes to review. Jot down an outline of your own article abstract. Try to be imaginative and build on your last activity. You will have 20 minutes for this task. So we will be sending you to the breakout rooms. And please share and discuss in groups. How does the sample abstract advance knowledge? How does yours do that? You'll be getting 10 minutes to share your ideas with your group in the breakout room.
Let me send to the breakout room.
Yes. Please join the breakout rooms. Ashwin ma'am, I think Muskan can be sent to room number 3 because room number 2 she is alone, I think.
I think, let me check. Muskan.
Yeah, room number 2, she is in room number 2. Maybe she can be sent to room number 3.
I sent it.
Yeah.
Muskan is alone.
Muskan is alone.
Let me send her.
Yeah.
How to send her?
Hmm.
Maybe I can just join.
Yeah.
Okay. Or would you
Okay.
like to?
No, it's fine.
Hmm?
Okay. তুমি কোন রুমে যাচ্ছ?
মুস্কানের রুমে দিয়ে দিত, হ্যাঁ? So
হ্যাঁ, ঠিক আছে। হ্যাঁ,
মুস্কান কোন রুমে আছে? Room 2, right?
room number 3.
3? Yeah, okay.
হ্যাঁ,
So
এই যে 3 তে not join লেখা আছে। হ্যাঁ।
let me send you there. Is everyone back? Things all right? Seems like everyone is back, so
Right.
yeah. So yeah.
So welcome back, everyone, to the main room. Now I would like to request a few colleagues to share their ideas.
You can just focus the two questions you can see on the slide. How does a sample abstract advanced knowledge, and how does yours do that? What did you discuss in the breakout room? I mean, anyone can just, do volunteer and share and talk about it. None? Pratyush,
Yeah,
you were with Muskan,
I
right?
was with Muskan. Yes, Muskan,
Muskan,
please
would you
share.
like to share some?
Yeah, Muskan has lots to say and she has pretty interesting ideas. I think I'll request Muskan to share her ideas. Muskan?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah.
So yes, like I said, that my paper involves the holistic approaches that can help the mental health of a person. So in my abstract, I have discussed that holistic approaches like emotional, social, physical, and spiritual elements can help a person's mental health. For example, emotional elements that can help are like sharing our emotions, and by
Okay.
social we are social beings, so being social and being in a community helps us a lot. And by physical, it's like doing workouts and doing yoga can help us a lot mentally and physically. And by spiritual elements, by being spiritual is like being a part of a community, so that also helps us a lot. It gives us a purpose and a sense of belonging.
Right. And also please mention how your study is focusing particularly on adults. Otherwise,
Yes.
how yeah,
So,
please.
like, I'm in the teaching department. So, we mostly study about the holistic approaches that can improve children's overall being. But it's
Mm,
it's also only child focused. So, my study will be about the holistic approaches that can help an adult, and how much it can help an adult. Because I have only heard about it helping a child.
right.
So it will mainly focus on that. And by the help of a survey and by conducting a survey with the psychologists, I can see that how their patients are being affected by
Mm,
these approaches, and if they are using it, why they are using it,
mhm.
how much to an extent they are using it. So all this will be involved in my paper.
Right. Thank you, Muskan. Thank you so
Thank you.
much. Anybody from breakout room 2 or other rooms? This was from breakout room 3. Anybody from breakout number 2? Breakout room number 2?
I don't know which room I was in. I didn't know
Okay,
that.
please go ahead. Yeah.
We were in breakout room number 5, Supriya.
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah. So the abstract that I was working on. So I again kind of put them under the same activities given to us. So for example, start with problem statement. So that would be immense burden which can be in India and in Africa as well as in other countries. And there's a lot of research that has been done in the between the B and C. There's a lot of research has already been done. The lot of data is there. it's a problem. So not much from days to months, which is the latest in Indian. So there's a lot of research in this area. Also, subject, for example, the HIV gene regions as specific for HIV. Then came the things. So we like Indian the sequences from US, and we found certain mutation hotspots in the machine, and these would need to be considered. Vaccine is to be designed, and for this the different methods that we would incorporate would be collecting the blood samples, then extracting DNA, doing sequencing in the lab, followed by comparison with the sequences which would be there in the database. So, and that would include sequences from Africa, from other states, from India, of course, other sequences also. And then taking all of that data and performing a mutation analysis, and that is how we would get key mutation hotspots. So the key contribution would be that with this study, we would discover these mutation hotspots, which would be required to be considered while designing an effective vaccine.
Okay,
Thank you.
thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you. You were a little bit of breaking apart, so I didn't get all of
Yes.
them, but yeah, but it was quite interesting the way you were pointing and making and talking about inclusion and equality, and that is actually advancing and also disseminating knowledge. The way you were discussing. Thank you very much. Is there anyone who would like to contribute? If not, we'll be moving to our next activity.
So Saima has raised her hand.
Saima, maybe you can take a minute to talk about it. Yes.
Yeah, so the abstract I have prepared from the sample given in the email is that this research work explores the challenges of teaching English writing skills to students of primary level education in Bangladesh. A quantitative research methodology will be applied to conduct the research. Primary data was collected by conducting a survey based on the questionnaire, and the targeted respondents will be involved in teaching primary school English language as a teacher. So for this research, I'm planning to take interview of 33 ELT teachers from 22 different primary schools based in Bangladesh participated in the survey. A background study about this certain and relevant field was conducted thoroughly for the secondary research. The research findings from the collected data showed that primary level ELT teacher had to go through a series of struggles and challenges while teaching primary level students English writing skills. However, the root of these challenges emerges from various factors, especially students' indifference to respond in the ELT classroom, lack of cooperation from students' parents, and lack of support from the school authority, and the curriculum not being much capable to excite students for practicing writing plays the vital role here in that case. So my abstract is not yet fully developed, so I just made the outline, and here is the result based on the sample abstract I got.
Okay, thank you, Saima.
Thank you, Miss.
Thank you for sharing. I think I will move to our next activity. Not taking any more responses. Okay, so thank you, everyone. So this is our last activity. So in this activity, sample article with editors and reviewers' comments will be given as handouts. As you have gotten mail, the respond to editors' emails. Based on editor's instructions for revising an article that is given in the handout, outline a response you'd write to the editor. Your email can indicate that you have addressed some feedback or critique as suggested. Also address some feedback or critique differently, explaining why, if you don't agree with the editor, the reviewer's comments. Or not address some feedback or critique, explaining why not. You'll be getting 15 minutes to do this activity. Now, these are the tips you can consider when you will be writing the response to the editor's email. Because it is important to know how to communicate with people in the process of revision and publication. For example, getting your paper back for revision is normal. And usually we do not want to panic when the revision is asked for it. So because you are in the top 5 to 10%, and also reviewers' perspective matters. Clarify points and trim content if needed, and learn from this experience. Respond positively, and thank editors and reviewers. And when you are done, you confirm your email and file submission. So these are the tips. Sorry. So based on the activity or the given in the handout, you respond those questions. So you have 15 minutes. Pratyusha, I think 4 minutes left for another 4 minutes.
Okay.
Right?
Yeah.
Pratyusha, I think time
Yes.
are we on time, right?
Yeah.
We want to give another minute. Do you think?
Yes. Yes.
Maybe
Can
another
give.
minute.
Yes.
No. I think, yeah, we have exactly, we have given already more than 15 minutes. So we start the discussion. Okay, so I would like to ask few colleagues to share their response to the editor's email. So who would like to go first? You can volunteer. Anyone? Come on, guys.
This is called productive silence, right?
Yeah, maybe they are you guys still writing and thinking? Saima, did you write the response?
Miss, I'm struggling to writing it.
Um,
I'm so sorry. I don't have any prior experience to write anything like that. So that's why I'm struggling.
Okay. How about Shupriya? Muskan? Oh, this is the difficult part. I mean, yeah, but that not intimidating. Nobody wants to share the response. No? Jaya,
And-
how about
Yeah. Yes.
well, no one seems to. No, okay. All
There must be
right.
good
So,
reason. There must be good reasons other than hesitation. Maybe colleagues are just learning how to do that, right?
yeah,
And they may
I
have
think,
benefited from what you shared,
yeah.
but
Mm,
yeah.
yeah, some wrote to me privately that, they are struggling and this is the first time they are experiencing. So they are in hesitation to share. So maybe we can move to the next activity. Okay.
Right. So before we wrap up, we would like to
Mhm.
ask a few colleagues what is their takeaway from today's workshop. Here are some points. Note taking on your research project warm-up activity, outlining your research project as an intellectual social mission, outlining your article abstract, indicating knowledge contribution, responding to journal editor, negotiating your intellectual position. Let's take 5 minutes to take notes on this activity. After 5 minutes, we would like to request a few colleagues to share your ideas.
So what we are asking is, what's your takeaway from today's workshop? Your reflection. So there were 4 activities we did. The first one is note-taking activity. The second one was outlining research project, and the third one was the discussion on the article abstract, indicating knowledge contribution, and the last one that you struggled regarding to responding to the journal editor. So what's your takeaway from these activities? So take 5 minutes and take notes, and please do share your reflection with us. Or you can share your reflection in the chat box if you want. You can do that. If you don't want to talk, you just can share your reflection in the chat box. Okay, someone wrote, today's session helped me in understanding the basic framework of any research project. You can read in the chat. Furthermore, it helped me to understand how to look at the bigger picture of research and how research impacts the society. Thank you very much. Thank you, Jatin.
Okay, another. The thing Jaya wrote, the thing I understood from this workshop is how research work play important role in social mission as topic of research indirectly or directly contributing the society. And also she talks about how she learned about the abstract also. Right.
Right, an abstract.
Can we have more responses, please? Yeah. Saima, please go ahead.
Uh, Thank you for the opportunity, Miss. So My takeaway from this workshop is that about my research paper, I was thinking it would be a bit difficult to come to that point where about my focus, where I want to find out that break-even point to maintain that bare minimum quality of the primary level education. It seemed a bit difficult at first, and still now I won't say that it's a foolproof plan because there are some factors that I just can't take care of from my research or anything like that. It's so deep rooted like that in society. So my takeaway from that workshop is it's giving me a little bit of a silver ray of hope that yeah, still it's doable and I can do that. And especially the part where the fourth one responding to journal editor to negotiate my research and all. So this is the part I'm facing the most difficulties, and I think with the at least I give it a try today. I didn't have any idea about it earlier, so maybe I can just maybe I can refer to that whenever I will work on whenever I will try to reach to my editors for that, and that way it was so helpful for me. So in total, moral of the story is it showed me that light that yeah, it's still doable. So it gave me a sense of encouragement from that sense. And also the fourth part, which is like how to survive. So it gave me that survival kit. Now, the rest of work is up to me whether I could use the survival kit properly or not. So, wish me luck for that, maybe. Thank you so much for arranging this workshop. It was really helpful. I came to learn a lot from this. Thank you so much for.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Saima. So Ruhan Mathur writes, this workshop helped me understand the basics of creating a research project and how to bring social impact through my research. Thank you. Thank you, Ruhan.
Well, maybe we check maybe one more response.
Mhm.
Is there anyone who would like to say, or yeah, Shupriya, oh no, okay.
Muskan, would you like to share something?
Yes, I'm sorry for not replying. Actually, I'm at my internship. So, thank you for conducting this workshop. It was very helpful. I actually understood how to correct and more define my abstract and how to conduct a more proper research about the topic that I am choosing and much more. Thank you.
Thank you, Muskan. Thank you so much.
So I think we are not going to take any more response.
So some issues with her network. So yeah, we can go ahead with the next agenda.
Yeah, thank you. So finally, we would like to invite Dr. Sham Sharma, Director of Certified Research Scholars Training Program, Star Scholars Network, to share any notes of inspiration with us. And thank you for being here and listening to us and joining the conversation. Dr. Sharma.
I did actually make the mistake of thinking the workshop is already over. I was supporting another program, actually two other programs today. Excuse me. And I thought it was already over. I made the mistake. Otherwise, I could have come and listened and learned more. But I did catch the last 15, 20 minutes. Two quick things. One is, in my observation today, what scholars are saying at the end when they say, I learned this, that research is about making a contribution in the world. I think you're hitting the right note there. You may be a graduate student, you may be only doing a very small scale research, you may be doing a knowledge sharing based on theoretical literature review or theoretical work, but still you really need to understand that we live in a knowledge economy, a global knowledge economy, where understanding, exploring, experimenting, problem solving, developing perspective, solutions, models, designs, policies, it's all knowledge work, right? Our grandparents, In my case, even my parents were farmers. They produced food and they fed the world. For those of us who are not producing any food to feed the world, we are producing something equally important. We're producing knowledge. And that knowledge should be eatable, right? That's what I say sometimes. And that productive, meaningful, useful knowledge cannot be generated if we don't ask the second question that you guys asked today, which is, how can I develop an intellectually strong research agenda, but also something that will impact the society, whether I'm researching in medicine or engineering or economics or history or culture or society. It should have at least an intellectual or a policy or a programmatic or an education or some kind of impact, right? So asking the two questions at the same time is a good idea. The question of social impact and social justice should not be a secondary afterthought. It should be the fundamental question. In fact, as we are working with Nasreen and Pratyusha and another colleague in Nepal, we shall actually learn that people actually develop better projects if they ask the social question and justice questions first, or along with the intellectual question. That's number one. Please pay attention to that. Asking the social question is not going to undermine or complicate your research. It's going to give you the meaning and value and purpose and direction, right? Number one, even if you're a master's degree student, put that in mind. It'll help you. It'll give you wings. It'll give you force. The second thing that I was thinking was this kind of programs, hopefully you guys learn today that you really don't learn by listening. I'll give a quick example. I'm organizing helping a teachers network in my home country, Nepal. And last week, after the second meeting, at the end, there was some extra time. And somebody said, hello, Sam, can you actually share your thoughts about this topic, right? And I went ahead and shared my topic. Turns out I had something to say about the topic. And then somebody said, after the meeting was over, everybody went away. One of the organizers said, Sam, sir, can you please every week take 20 minutes and give this kind of inspirational speech? And I said, no. People came here to dance. I'm not going to dance until they have danced. So 90% of the time, 95% of the time, they're going to do the dance. And if you want this old man to dance, I will dance a little bit at the end. I'm going to look awkward. But you should organize a program to make them do the work. And today, I hope that you learn best by doing. You struggle, you grapple. Those are the words you're using, right? You didn't know, you're unsure, you're muting yourself, you're turning off the video. But these two ladies were tough. They made you struggle, right? Regardless of how old or how, the experience you are, that you have to do the work. If I came earlier, I would do the work also together, everybody. So let us understand that it's not enough to just listen to this important, big, experienced people and say, oh, that is how to dance. Now I know how to dance, and go home. Nope. Right? If you're a farmer, you have to grow the food. You can't just give lectures. You've seen a farmer giving a lecture? They grow the food. If you're a dancer, you have to dance. You've seen a dancer give a lecture? Our work is slightly different, but not totally different. We need to do it. So what you learned today, please write. Please develop the research as a topic. Please do the literature review. Please write and please submit. Star Scholars Network has 9 journals. Please submit to one of them. And when they reject, you know how to work, right? Like you got some of the tips. And learn to deal with the rejection, but you will get some feedback in the process. You'll learn what mistakes you're making, what you're doing well, but please continue to produce and push. You'll get there. One other thing that I want to say, which occurred to me, was earlier, there was another training workshop on how to write grant proposals for big international and national grants. The scholar was a very prominent scholar from Michigan State University who I had recommended. And when the facilitators were introducing the scholars, they said, wow, look at his Google Scholar citation. And I said, stop. You did not look at what he does. He actually looks at the process of how underground water is drying around the world by using satellite data of how much gravitational pull the world is making around the world. By using satellite gravitational data, he's modeling which part of the world is drying because people and the climate change are impacting underground water. In other words, this guy is measuring the depletion of underground water and creating a world map of underground water, not your Google map, but the underground water map, okay? And then he's advising the United Nations and governments around the world on how to strategize water usage because of climate change and because of human impact. He's also looking at where the next wars may occur because water is drying up on the rivers, on the surface also. Then he's looking at food, water, and security, how the world will, operate itself in relation to the disruption of the water cycle. And he's saying the water cycle has a fourth dimension, not the ocean, cloud, and river, but also fourth dimension, underground water. He's redefining the water cycle, right? And then he's advising the governments around the world to make policies that will help the people, human beings, survive with sufficient water for future generations. They did not look at that. You know what they look at? His Google Scholar Index. I can make a Google Scholar Index by writing nonsense. And I can make a Google Scholar Index by fundamentally informing the world how to make policies about water and right, irrigation and food security. Those are two different things. I've seen people have Google Scholar Index for nothing. I'm like, what does he do? Right? He wrote this nonsensical article and has it to high index. What we need to do is to do meaningful work for a high Google Scholar Index. Right? But one without the other is hopeless. One without the other is meaningless. And therefore, please continue to push in the direction of writing and producing meaningful research, but don't ever believe anybody who says, if you produce meaningful research, it will not be published. Nobody will accept. They will, because the more visionary and impactful the work, the more appealing it is. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you, Sharma, Dr. Sharma.
Thank
Yeah.
you, sir.
So thank you very much for joining us for this workshop. We look forward to engaging with you in your future.
Thank you
Thank
very much, everyone. Charu, are you here? No. Okay, then I don't know where is Charu. Okay, thank you, everyone. Bye. Bye, everyone.
Thank you so much for organizing this workshop. It was really helpful. And thanks for your scholarly presence, Sharma sir. It was really wonderful to see you again. Hope you remember me from the last
if you do the work, what I say will make sense.
Yeah. Hopefully I will, sir. Please pray for me.
Please be brave.
I think the last exercise was very challenging because most of them don't have publication experience. So the first, second, and third they managed to do, but the last one they struggle because I remember when I started publishing, like getting the review and looked for like how to respond. Like nobody told me ever. So I looked for information into Google and I asked even questions to different people, but they even couldn't help me out. So gradually over the period of time, I learned on my own. But these people are lucky to get to look at the sample, a good sample where the sample responses are written, how to respond when you disagree, how can you be politically correct, how can you, it's quite amazing. Personally,
exactly.
Yeah.
Especially if you sit down and imagine that you're sitting next to the editor, right? With the reviewers being on the side of the table, and it said, editor, thank you so much for spending all of this time to criticize my work. And reviewers, you guys, you didn't even know me when you're writing that. Wow, look at the amount of time you spent on this, right? I am going to do my best. I'm not going to agree with you on all counts, but I'm really going to do my best. I'm really good. You don't even know me. It's a gift from a stranger. Your time and expertise is gift from a stranger. And I will take that gift and work with it. If you have that attitude, everything else will fall in place.
Yeah.
A lot of people panic or get angry and rejected, right? They're like,
Get
oh my
upset
God,
as
what am
well.
I going to do? Upset.
Yeah. This is the first response when you receive such things
Oh, that's
from the
normal.
educator.
That's normal. That's normal.
Mm,
Though your first response would be like, oh God, what is this, right?
mm,
You have to
I
go
I
for a
I go
long walk.
through depression sometimes.
You
Yeah.
need,
Yeah.
yep. And it's natural. It's natural. Don't try to deny the natural reaction. But the rational reaction is when you come back from the walk, what am I going to
mm,
say? I think you should say, great. My first email will be, thank you very much. I'll do my best. I really appreciate your time. And your second email should be, I'm almost ready. I have a question. And
mm,
your third email should be, here's a summary. I did everything that I could. I disagreed with one or two things. I hope I can still move forward with you. Boom. See, this is how you do work on your terms. Otherwise, you'll be dominated by people's unintended offenses.
mhm. Yeah, that's a
Specifically
good
when
thing
you
that
start publishing for novice ones, we have started publishing for the very first time and second time. I listened or I did whatever they suggested. Everything I did. I thought, oh my God, I can
Or
go.
sometimes you should,
I can go. Yeah, it's like
skip.
professor.
Yeah, no,
I can
sometimes.
just go. Yeah.
Can I
Yeah.
share my screen? If you can give me
Yeah.
the
Yeah. Yeah.
host access, I'll show you a picture, a cartoon, reviewer, peer review. I found it. Okay, here. Yeah. Here is the cartoon. Okay. Let me show you this. Here's the cartoon. So your manuscript is submitted. This is the card, right? You just submitted this. And after peer review and revision, they said minor revision. They want to add an umbrella in the back. Who does that? And somebody said the latest top mounted laser cannon because there's no reason. Somebody said do this to the card. And I'm like, why would you do that? Okay. And then another reviewer will say front windshield needs to be removed or tinted red. And you're tinted red, the car is plain. And then horse hitch, because that's how we always did it. Look at this. There's a pulley for horse. At the bottom, they said, please try this alternative approach. And the alternative approach is sliding in the snow. And by the end, the car looks like this. Right? Of course, if you follow everything they say, sometimes your car will be turned into a useless thing with many wheels,
Yeah.
a cannon on top and a horse hitch on the front. That joke is quite appropriate because sometimes people don't understand. Sometimes you have to pull back and say, sorry, I can't do it, and submit to another place, right? But other times, it may be just your emotional response when you think, oh my God, right? They may actually be not recommending all of these things. This is a joke, right? But the joke has a little bit of truth. It is not always the case. A lot of times that happens, but you should not assume that always happens. Maybe 10% of that is happening in your case. Maybe 20% is happening. But why not pay attention to the 80% and go with that?
So,
Did you like the cartoon?
yeah, it was funny.
Picture of the cartoon.
Yes, sir, I like it too. Also, maybe
This is really
in my future,
interesting.
it would be a B2B greenness for me.
And some of them, I think those are vague. There is no clarity of the documents. Yeah, that also uses.
Yeah. All right, I guess we will let everybody go. It's 2:45 a.m. in New York right now.
Seriously.
Okay,
Bye.
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 Everyone.
Bye, Nasreen ma'am. It was great.
Bye.
Yeah. Bye, everyone. Bye.
Bye.
Bye, ma'am.
Okay,
Bye,
Pratyusha?
Bye, Nasreen.
Yes, Nasreen ma'am.
Yeah, bye. Okay, I'll talk to you later. Bye.